Hello guys, I hope you're fine and safe. In this video, we'll continue talking about modal verbs. We're gonna study about a new list of modals, namely must, mustn't, have to, and don't have to. Together, we will see what functions or meanings these modal verbs express and how we use them in English. Let's get started. Within the first part, we have seen modal verbs we use to express functions like request and permission. Today we will be focusing on four new functions or meanings. We shall see modal verbs we use for obligation, prohibition, necessity, and absence of necessity. We shall discover what these functions mean and the modal verbs we use to express them. The first function to study today will be obligation. There are situations when we are obliged to do some things or when something is obligatory, just like in these examples. Let's look at this picture. You all know what drivers are supposed to do when the traffic light is red, right? Drivers must stop. Drivers must stop when the traffic light is red. Another thing drivers must do is to put on the seat belt. So drivers must wear seat belts. Drivers must wear seat belts. These are two things that drivers are obliged to do when driving their cars. So to express obligation here, we use the modal verb must. Our second function is prohibition. This refers to a situation when we are not allowed to do something. You will understand better in these two examples. Look at these two pictures. These students are doing something they are not allowed to do, which is written on tables and chairs. Students mustn't write on school tables and chairs. Students must not write on school tables and chairs. Another example is using mobile phones in the classroom. You all know that this is not allowed. Using mobile phone in the class is prohibited. Students mustn't use mobile phones in class. Students must not use mobile phones in class. So to express prohibition, we use the modal verb mustn't, which is a short form for must not. Function number 3 is necessity. This is a situation when it is necessary for us to do something. An example is, I want to get fit, so I have to exercise every day. I have to exercise every day. You can see that the man in the picture is a bit fat, so it is necessary for him to exercise every day if he wants to get fit. So to express necessity here, we use the modal verb have to. Have to. Another example is, Ahmed is sick, or Ahmed is really sick. He has to see a doctor. He has to see a doctor. Please notice that the modal verb it has changed into has to because the subject here is he. It says third person singular. So Ahmed or he, she, and it are used with has to. Has to. Function number 4 and the last function today is absence of necessity. This refers to a situation when something is not necessary to do, or when we are not obliged to do something. An example is fast in Ramadan. Fast in Ramadan. To fast Ramadan means you don't eat or drink during the day in Ramadan. So you all know that kids don't have to fast Ramadan. Kids or little children do not have to fast Ramadan. They are not obliged to fast Ramadan. It's not necessary for them to fast Ramadan. So to express absence of necessity here, we use don't have to. Don't have to. But please notice that the modal verb changes again when the pronoun is he, she, and it. An example is Adam is still young. He doesn't have to fast Ramadan. Let's now practice using these modal verbs. I'd like you to answer this exercise. The question says complete with must, mustn't, have to, has to, don't have to, or doesn't have to. I would like you now to stop the video, think of the exercise, and copy answers so you can compare with the key answers later. Now as you have finished, let's get correct the exercise. The first sentence says, tomorrow is a holiday. We go to class. The right modal verb is we don't have to go to class tomorrow. Why? Because it's a holiday. So you all know that in holidays, it's not necessary to go to school or class. So we don't have to go to class. Sentence 2 says you smoking cigarettes mean. You smoke here, this is a public hospital. You all know that it is prohibited to smoke in a public hospital. So the right answer is you mustn't smoke here. Sentence number 3, I get up early, I don't want to be late for school. So because I don't want to be late, I have to get up early. I have to get up early. Sentence 4, Muslims drink alcoholic drinks. Alcoholic drinks like wine. Muslims mustn't drink. It is prohibited to drink wine or alcoholic drinks in Islam. So Muslims mustn't drink alcohol. Sentence 5, you cook. We are going to eat out tonight. Eat out means eat in a restaurant. So if we are going to eat in a restaurant, it's not necessary to cook. So the right modal verb will be you don't have to cook. You don't have to cook. Sentence 6, there is an emergency situation in the country. We stay at home. Because there's an emergency situation in Morocco or in the country, we must stay at home. Or we have to stay at home. Both are correct. Sentence 7. Muslims pray 5 times a day. Muslims must pray 5 times a day. And the last sentence says, Layla can't go out. Layla cannot go out. Why? It's because she has to finish her homework. She has to finish, she's obliged to finish her homework. It's necessary for her to finish her homework. Now, as you have finished, we have reached the end. Thank you for watching. This is your lesson summary. Try to copy this into your lesson copybooks. Thank you. I'll see you later. Have a good day.